What's up, you guys? Hey, I want to share a quick message with you. A somber message, but something that needs to be shared anyways. You know, we think about what this day is all about, and most of us think about the beer and the barbecue and the lake and the freedoms and the fun and the sun and everything else that we're enjoying. And all that stuff's wonderful. We should enjoy those things. The liberties that we enjoy have been paid for. We ought to honor those things and definitely take advantage of them. And I'm out here walking in my field. My family's over here somewhere. I don't know if you can see them. There's one of them. There's the others. We're doing 50 miles today for the Special Forces Foundation and 50 for the Fallen. You guys can look into it. But as I was walking around, I got thinking about a somber moment that I wanted to share with you. It's a very brief moment. When I was in Iraq in 2005, I couldn't have been there very long at the point, but I'd walked from the building that I was working out of to the chow hall, and it wasn't very far. It must have been, I don't know, 300, 400, 500 meters. It wasn't very far. It was fairly close. And we get to the road right before the chow hall, and somebody stops us. And we look down, and there's a convoy just screaming through the base, coming from the south gate. They're screaming through. So they stopped us. They screamed through. Went over to the medical center, which was right next to the chow hall. I didn't really think too much of it. Kind of wondered what had happened. And there was rumors, you know, that they had experienced enemy fire and that they had taken some casualties. So I go into the chow hall and I eat lunch and I come back out. Like I said, I couldn't have been there very long at this point, maybe a couple of months. And I remember vividly, and I'll always remember this. It's etched into my mind forever as a small moment in time that illustrates the importance and the gravity of the sacrifices of so many young men and women. I look over to the medical center and I see the Humvees right there parked, and I see a group of soldiers. Must have been, I don't know, 5 or 10 of them. And they were all huddled around. And there was one soldier in particular, and he was sitting on the hood of one of the Humvees. And all of his buddies were there trying to console him. And he was sobbing, uncontrollably sobbing. This was a young man. He was probably 20, 22, 25, young. Actually, probably the same age I was when I was over there, actually, now that I say that. And he was sobbing. He had just lost one of his brothers in arms. I don't know the full situation. I don't know what went down. I don't know what his actions were. I don't know what the other guy's actions were. I don't know how they handled the situation. I know none of the details. All that I know is that they had lost one of their brothers in arms. And this man, this hardened warrior, battle-tested, trained for these types of circumstances, was bawling, sobbing uncontrollably. And I will never forget his face, ever. It was the first time for me that it became real. You know, we hear about our forefathers and we hear about our grandpa and we hear about all the sacrifices, and I'm not discounting any of that. But none of it is like real. You know, not very many of us, fortunately, have to experience the realness of it. Seeing somebody with tattered clothes that are blood-soaked, seeing a grown man, a warrior, crying uncontrollably because he just lost one of his brothers in arms, like actually experiencing it. And I'm grateful that so many of us don't have to experience that. But I want you also to know that it's moments like those that are etched into my mind, and countless more, even more tragic and horrific than that singular experience for me, that really explain to us the importance of a day like today. And so I'd ask you and urge you, between the beer and the barbecue and the sun and the fun and all those other things that you're doing, that at a minimum, you take a moment and you reflect together with your family and your friends and your neighbors, whoever you're with. You reflect upon the actual sacrifices that have been made in order for you to enjoy what it is you're enjoying today. And you shouldn't feel bad about enjoying those things, but you ought to remember why you can. And the reason you can, and the reason you can worship the way you want to worship, and you can live your life the way you want to live your life, and you can pursue happiness in a way that's significant and meaningful and unique to you, is because someone, somewhere, laid down their life so that you could have the life that you enjoy. I've got a couple of different experiences like that I'll never forget, and I'm grateful actually for those painful experiences. I wish nobody had to go through those things, but I am grateful to be able to see some of our nation's finest ultimately lay down their life for us to enjoy the luxuries that we have. Anyways, I feel like I'm rambling at this point because I really don't know what to say. It's hard for me to put words to these experiences and the way I feel, not just today, but every day. And I try to remember that young man, a 22-year-old or whatever man, sitting outside of the medical center on top of his Humvee with tattered clothes and a uniform, blood-soaked, with 5 to 10 of his brothers in arms trying to console him as he thought about the brother that he just lost. Think about that. Not to ruin your day, but just to paint a more accurate picture as to what this day is all about. I hope that you guys enjoy Memorial Day. I hope you fully take advantage of the freedoms and liberties that we have been blessed with through the blood of those who have sealed our liberty. And I hope you fight for it in your own way. I'm not asking for every one of you to be a warrior. Maybe not a physical warrior, but a warrior in your mindset at least. Fight for what's good and right. Fight for liberty. Fight for freedom. And fight for our way of life. There's definitely some threats in modern times that we need to be aware of that threaten our freedom and liberty. And we got to ask ourselves, do we honor those who have protected it by A, living a life that honors them, and by having a willingness to stand up ourselves against the injustices and trampling of our freedoms and liberties? Something to consider, guys. I do hope you have a good day, but just please remember why we do this. And also, think about doing the 50-mile ruck for the Special Forces Foundation, 50 for the Fallen. Get yourself involved, get your kids involved, get out there, go ruck around, enjoy the great outdoors, and remember why we celebrate today. Make it a great one.